Welcome back. You're still watching Nile Cruise from the Egyptian Opera House here in the heart of the capital, Cairo, with Rana Al-Assas and myself, Mohamed Abdirrahim. And as we told you, dear viewers, we'll be talking about the World Youth Forum and the President's Leadership Program. And we have with us now a member of the Presidential Leadership Program with us now, and he is Engineer Mohamed Hesham. Thank you very much, Engineer Hesham, for joining us. Welcome to Nile Cruise. Welcome to Nile TV International.
Thank you so much. It's quite a pleasure.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mohamed. A very good day. Mohamed, how do you see the engagement of the participants of such events in the political and social life?
Firstly, I would like to start from the beginning of the initiation of this event from 2016, when the President initiated the Year of Youth.
And following that,
yes, exactly, in Ismailia. Firstly, it was the National Youth Conference in Sharm el-Sheikh. And following that, there were plenty of presidential initiatives and governmental efforts in the field of youth, promoting youth participation and inclusion. We all know that Egypt is a young country with almost 70% of the population is under 40 years old. So there is a need to incubate serious policies to engage youth in decision making and in ongoing discussions in what is happening and the challenges and so on. So there was a presidential leadership program. The first batch was in 2016, the second batch, and we are having the third batch studying at the National Academy of Youth. And one of the recommendations of the National Youth Conference was the World Youth Forum, which was implemented last year and was implemented as well this year with a youth succession, including almost 5,000 youth from all of the world in discussing creativity, innovation, and peace, and promoting that Egypt is a civilization that has its all dimensions, African, Arab, and Mediterranean, and the Greek, Romanian, and all of the civilizations actually were based in Egypt, and it is the only country that can incubate
such Islamic, Coptic,
exactly,
you name it.
Yeah. And so it's the civilization that incubate and engage all the youth, and actually the civilization or the country that is not polarized in an ideological or a political way, and can foster such a discussion and ongoing such discussion under the supervision of the Presidential Institute.
So, Engineer Hesham, tell me for you, what were the major highlights of the conference? Something that you will never forget. Maybe youth from a certain country, maybe a certain discussion with certain youth from a specific country. Tell me what stands out for you from this year's World Youth Forum?
Actually, the idea itself that the youth from Arab and African countries saw the president coming and getting engaged in discussions and listening to recommendations as well. And I participated as well in the organizing of the Arab-African simulation, which is a youth simulation for the Arab-African Summit. And the youth, when they saw the president listening and adopting the recommendations in light of the presidency of Egypt to the African Union next year, and actually they saw that their recommendations were adopted in a governmental regional agenda, they were fascinated. The idea itself that
they felt empowered.
Exactly. They said that doesn't happen regularly in their countries, that the president sit for hours and listen and engage and discuss. It is a new experience that Egypt is exporting regionally and to the international community.
Mohamed, can you tell us more about the Presidential Leadership Program for Youth? That was an emphasis and a main topic in this World Youth Forum that took place in 2018.
So actually the Presidential Leadership Program aiming at establishing a database of the Egyptian youth and the empowered Egyptian youth, and actually build their capacity and capabilities in terms of leadership and participating in public affairs and how to participate in decision making and public policy settings. So we have various topics to train on, and actually tackling national security and very different diversified aspects. And that actually was transferred or translated in the national youth conferences, in the discussions, and translated internationally in the World Youth Forum. The World Youth Forum, when we see the youth, the Egyptian youth who were trained for 2 or 3 years on such discussion and critical thinking and analyzing and getting engaged with youth from different cultures, we can see the difference. We can see the improvement that happened for almost 1,500 youth who started this initiative, and it will be extended to all over the governorates of Egypt. We can see the difference, and we can see actually a real discussions we can, for example, for instance, we have now Aswan at the capital for African youth, and which is one of the recommendations of the World Youth Forum, and that was a recommendation from one of the sessions or one of the discussions of the World Youth Forum and the simulation, the African Summit as well. So there is a progress, and there are empowered youth. I can tell that the participation or the youth capacity building is turning to more of empowerment. The youth are being empowered.
Mohamed, why did this leadership program impress most of the youth that attended the forum? Because I met many of them, and all of them wanted to be discussing, or all of them wanted to talk about the leadership, the presidential leadership program, which was the main focus from my point of view, because I wasn't there, that grabbed the attention of most of the youth that attended this forum.
I would emphasize again the status of empowerment. Like many people were skeptical at the beginning of the effectiveness of the presidential leadership program. And a year after a year, when they saw that there are youth who come from different backgrounds, who are now serving as in technical office in ministries or assistant to ministers, or even we have youth are assistants to governors nowadays. So when they saw these youth are giving presentations and discussing and a leadership program that is very aspiring to the young youth and the very, very young generation to follow the steps of these kind of initiatives.
Right. Engineer Hesham, tell me, what are the skills that you personally learned from participating in this forum with youths from all around the world and from the presidential leadership program? And what are the skills that you think the youth, the you who participated in this global forum will develop?
I would say, of course, critical thinking, analysis, policy analysis, and getting to know more about how the government functions. Many youth want to change and doesn't know how, and they don't know the legislations and how change management or changing an institution works. So getting to know more about the functionality of how the government functions and the policies are, how the policies are formulated, and even strategic management, project management, all of that we are subjected to this kind of skills and knowledge in the presidential leadership program. Regarding the World Youth Forum, I would say that it widens the scope of the youth when they deal with different cultures, and when they discuss and learn. We learn more from other cultures, and actually the other cultures, as I said, that they learn more from the Egyptian experience in the field of youth empowerment. I would say, I would emphasize the fact that this kind of commitment or political commitment to empowering youth is very new in the region, and is very promising. Is very promising, actually.
It is.
Mohamed, how did you first engage in such forums, or when it started in 2016? How did you get to know about it and engage, and the development that happened to you, and of course the difference in your professional and personal life, the impact of such forums on you?
Actually, when I first knew about the program was from Facebook, and we all know that digital platforms is very important for youth to get engaged. So I would say that the targeting of the program was very effective to reach to the youth, not through the traditional tools. I participated. I got enrolled or got engaged in the selection process. There are exams and there is an interview. It's a very tight and professional selection process, and since then I would say that I have personally grew a lot in terms of interpersonal skills, and in terms of knowledge, and in terms we engage when we discuss with ministers, and we're not afraid, and we can say that And we can see the matter that what we say can be adopted in national policy, and which gives an optimistic vision to the future from a youth perspective. We are talking about the from 18 to 29, which is very critical age, and a lot of expectations from the world that needs dialogue between the adults and the youth to ensure that we are on a similar background and that we have, and we can see the future that we are going to. Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
Again, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Again, you mentioned that you got engaged to Facebook, Mohammed. What I want other youths that would love to be part of this and get engaged with you. First, I understand that it's not a regular thing. That next year you guys have to still enroll yourself again on Facebook and see if you have a chance or not. I don't know about you, of course, because eventually or apparently you go every year. But when I met someone that came back, she told me that no, it's not like this. Next year she's going to be again enrolling herself through Facebook. How can we introduce this to other youths to know more about it, to facilitate them to go over there?
Actually, there are a lot of means we can promote the reaching out to Egyptian universities. The World Youth Forum, there were booths in the universities to get more to the target age group, and through the Ministry of Youth and Sports as well. There are a lot of civic education centers all over the governorates, and it is very useful to use all of these kind of resources to reach more to the youth, to get engaged in such kind of international platforms. Regarding the presidential leadership program, it's another matter. There is batches, and after graduation, I'll be an alumni in few months. So I'll keep myself engaged in any kind of these international events, because I learn more from engaging in every event. Yes.
Great, Engineer Hesham. It's been a pleasure hosting you. We wish you all the best of luck, and we commend your participation in that World Youth Forum and in the Presidential Leadership Program. And again, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good luck,
Thank you.
Mohammed.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure, and thank you for hosting me.
All right, short break, and we'll be back, Rana and I, here from the Cairo Opera House to continue Nile Cruise. Please stay with us.